If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you. Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades, here's your host, Gary Anderson.
Boy, I tell you, the weather down at the compound, I'll tell you, it's really screwy. I can tell you the weather forecast after tomorrow is rain, at least for the next 2 to 2.5 weeks, according to the Weather Bureau. I don't know what happened, but I can tell you one thing. Last year, at the same time of year, we were still sitting in the high 60-degree mark. Earth changes, yeah, it's going on. There are a lot of different theories about Earth changes. Anyway, James, are you out there with me here tonight?
Yes, I am here. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing really good. Have you heard in the Everglades, people are being terrorized by a skunk ape?
I have heard this for about 20-some plus years now. And I guess it smells really, really bad.
Yeah, well, it looks like a Bigfoot. I tell you, there's a picture of it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a plant.
Right. I've seen a video of it going across like a swampy field from a distance. Somebody, pulled over along the road and used their cell phone. But yeah, I don't know what. I think they're a little smaller than the Northwest cousins, but I think they're a little more aggressive. Maybe, I don't know.
They seem to be, and they also seem to be like in a brown shade. It's something like that. But still. I don't care if it's as big as the ones up here in the Northwest, like in British Columbia or Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana. But I tell you, I don't care. I don't want to see one. And a fisherman here a couple weeks ago finds a giant shark head. It was bit off by even a larger creature. And, I'm looking at the picture. This shark head alone is way bigger than the guy. And that's like a shark. It could sit there and take like a 12-foot boat and just kind of swallow it up in one bite.
I seen that picture. I got to tell you, whatever bit that shark is huge. I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at a boy. It's called a bat boy, and it's real. It's a real boy that is, like about 4 years old, that has, ears, like a, what do you call it? A vampire, basically, teeth like a vampire, and has skin like a bat.
Wow, that must be some kind of condition or something. I've never heard tell of it, though, but that's interesting. I did see something also kind of similar to that. We was talking about Mothman and stuff. Have you ever seen a full-grown harpy eagle? Not that. We get the eagles where I live, and they're huge. Yeah, these harpy eagles, they look like what people describe Mothman are, and they're huge. I could see somebody mistaking one for a Mothman creature, I guess.
Well, I guess they could, but again, like the Mothman are reported like about 6 foot tallish, with kind of like I don't know. There's been so many different reports of what the wings look like and what they look like. I still think a lot of people are mixing it from that TV or that movie show, Jeepers Creepers. I'm sure you've seen Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, some of the descriptions are right off the TV.
Yeah, right off of the movie. I mean, and I heard maybe the guy who wrote the movie script took it off of what, is out there. I don't know. Either one. I don't want to see either one, but there's been a lot of reports, like Tom Taylor, who's a regular on my show. He's one of these guys that puts dinosaur bones together for museums, and he actually runs a museum. One of his friends now has run across a Mothman out in the middle of nowhere in eastern Texas, so I don't know what to say.
I don't either. I know that Texas is a big state, and they've got a lot of open land, so who knows? There may be something out there we've never even discovered yet.
Yeah, and the Chinese military is in search of, the Chinese, or China, I should say, Bigfoot. A lot of reports of a Bigfoot going around military camps.
Yeah, they've got a national park, so to speak, that they've got sanctioned off. That supposedly one's there. I forget what they call them. What do they call them? Yowies or Yarans or something like that. But yeah, I don't think they get as big as ours. But still, who knows? They might be out there. There's a lot of jungle out there.
No, I don't care. If it has a lot of hair and long arms and makes a scary noise and is attacking people and stealing stuff, I mean, at least they got enough military to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
believe they do.
Could you imagine having a dog born with 2 mouths? You know how expensive that would be for dog food?
That's one way of looking at it. No, that's got to be some kind of genetic disformity or something. I don't know. No, I did see where a doctor in the 1950s, a Russian doctor, I think, it was like a mad scientist, kind of hooked another dog head onto another dog. But yeah, I don't know about. I didn't hear about that. That's bizarre.
That's out of the UK. Actually, the second mouth is where the ears should be. So you got the front mouth, and then you got the mouth on the side. So hey, are you hungry? Hungry? Come on, hey, I don't know. Boy, 2 mouths? How could you afford to feed a dog that has 2 mouths?
That sounds confusing. I don't know. I mean, which one do you? Yeah, that's wow. I wouldn't know where to begin with that one.
Yeah, and an alligator in Florida, well, I hate to say it, swallowed a 58-year-old man within 2 bites.
What?
Yeah.
That's got to be a pretty big alligator. I've seen them down there, I don't know, 12, 14 foot, but boy, to swallow an old man in 2 bites.
Well, they pulled one out here about a week ago. It was like over 20 feet.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
That's a good sign. The head and mouth on that sucker would be so. And there's some people that'll actually, like in India and some of these countries that have alligators, they got them so well supposedly trained where they put their head in their mouth and put their hands in their mouth and brush their teeth. Could you imagine if the alligator or whatever they are, crocodile, whatever they are, decides to close its mouth? You wouldn't have either a head or a hand or whatever.
You are tempting fate by doing that, because one thing, their brains aren't that big, and I think that's a lose-lose. I mean, really, because one day it's going to snap and you're going to lose a head or a finger or a hand or something.
No, you won't lose a finger. Hey, James, you won't lose a finger with one of those things. They close their mouth. You're going to lose what's ever near there. They could just come towards you and go, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah, probably a near miss would probably take your fingers off
probably your whole hand and probably your arm, yank it right off your body, man. And a Michigan woman claims her family is living in harmony with a clan of Bigfoots.
Oh my! And this is where, Michigan?
In Michigan, isn't that where they make a lot of cars?
Well, they used to. I don't know about nowadays, but maybe. But that's something. They're living with a clan of them.
And
go ahead.
I just want to say, in Brazil, they had rain one day, a couple weeks ago, and it rained down hundreds of thousands of spiders.
Yeah, I don't. Now that's believable, because there is a bunch of spiders that they fling themselves up into the atmosphere. And that's how they distribute and breed and lay eggs. So yeah, that's not shocking. But the ones that get me is the ones where it rains fish and frogs and stuff like that, crazy stuff.
I don't know. And then a giant squid was pulled out of the sea up by the UK in a fishing net, and it is like twice the size of a human being in length.
Well, yeah, well, hell, they've got them 40, 50 feet, so, the great giant squid, but I know that Humboldt squid, it gets 6, 7 foot, and they're vicious. Hell, they eat each other.
Yeah, they can do. Now, do you got a couple stories?
Well, I got one here. Alien worm with 3 sexes is discovered in California's Mono Lake, and that's kind of weird. Alien worm with 3 sexes discovered. I never heard tell of such thing. Have you?
No, I sure wouldn't want to have to pay child support to one of those.
It'd be to more than one, I guess. And then there's a guy, Wi-Fi allergy sufferer, forced to hide in copper sleeping bag. Now, could you imagine being allergic to Wi-Fi? What would you do? It's everywhere.
I don't know. There's people that actually, around their house, they take tin foil, aluminum foil, and put it over their head, make a hat. I used to know somebody that was like that. They were really crazy. I mean, if you went in their house, everything in their house, their ceiling, their walls were all, instead of having wallpaper, it was wallpapered with aluminum foil.
Wow.
And
again,
they did that because they said all these radio waves were, feed him information in his brain, and he didn't want it.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Nobody's going to steal his thoughts or put thoughts in his head, are they? That's crazy.
I don't know. In the Philippines, I guess there's a mermaid that is attacking people when they're swimming. Not a friendly. I always thought mermaids were friendly and lovable creatures, but evidently this one is aggressive.
Yeah, actually, the lore and the legend of mermaids is actually probably more like a siren, or kind of like, they're kind of dangerous. They come to people like they're nice to lull you in, and then they attack, so to speak.
Well, this one is actually attacking, swimmers and biting them and all that stuff. Interesting, isn't it? And could the Bigfoot have a flying cousin called the Bat Squatch?
I've heard about that. There was a couple stories about that, and to me, that's just, I don't know, it's kind of bizarre, but I don't know where to go with that. I've heard a couple reports about the Bat Squatch. I can't trying to think what